Developing overnight news now. A robbery at a 7-Eleven in Albuquerque that may have ended with a shooting. It's happened at the corner of Central and University about 1 o'clock.
Now, right now, police are not telling us a whole lot about what happened here, but what we do know is that there have been a lot of officers at the convenience store now for several hours. Our News 13's David Romero is there now. David, you have been there all morning long. What can you tell us?
Elizabeth, just about 20 minutes ago, the mobile crime lab was taken off of Central Avenue and put into the parking lot there at the 7-Eleven behind me. You can see that over my shoulder. Now, detectives have also been interviewing and talking to the same group of people since we've been out here, and that's been the last couple of hours. And we're not sure how they are tied into this scene, but another officer told us that they are trying to get as much information as possible and to determine what happened here this morning. Now, the only thing we have confirmed at this point is that there was a robbery here at the 7-Eleven, which is on the southwest corner of Central and University. There are reports this may have turned into a fatal shooting. There's no confirmation on that. As to who may have been shot, officers on scene told me earlier this morning that the violent crimes detectives are still talking to witnesses. They do expect to be out here for quite a while, and this will affect your morning commute. Now, as we mentioned, that the traffic situation has changed here. Eastbound Central is completely open at this point. They have moved the officers' units into the parking lots and trying to keep traffic flowing through here as best as possible. Now, southbound University is also the same. The officers have tried to clear everything up as good as possible, but expect some kind of delay because there's always that kind of likelihood that they're going to have to move out of the 7-Eleven parking lot to expand their investigation. There's no telling when that will happen, so just use a lot of caution when you're driving through this area later today. Back to you.
Very good to know about the traffic situation out there, David. Thank you. We are following this story closely, and of course we will keep you updated on all the developments both on air and online.
New for you this morning, we now know for sure the man who died in a shootout with police in northern New Mexico is Rex Sherwood, the same man who started shooting at police last week and took off into the mountains. And what else we have learned about Sherwood is downright terrifying. Our sources say Rex Sherwood was extremely anti-government and had homemade bombs in the back of the truck he was driving when tribal police tried to pull him over near Dulce on Tuesday. That was for not using a turn signal. That's when police say he led them on a chase, got out of the truck with a bulletproof vest on and started shooting at officers with an AK-47. After that, Sherwood took off into the mountains. Then on Sunday, he got into another shootout with police at a gas station in Dulce here and died. Right now, investigators are trying to find out if Sherwood killed himself or if police shot and killed him. They're also trying to find out what Sherwood planned to do with all of those homemade bombs. Well, this morning we know a third person could be involved in a deadly shooting at a park in Santa Fe from back in May. Police there now tell us Louis Perea is a person of interest in the case. This is all from when Juan Soto was killed at Monica Lucero Park. No one has been charged with his murder just yet, but police have arrested Ryan Dimas and Gabriel Amendares on tampering with evidence and conspiracy charges.
The Department of Transportation estimates about 30% of crashes are caused by drivers using a cell phone. But when it comes to crashes caused by drivers who are texting and driving, the state can't tell you how many. State records show only 2 crashes were recorded in all of New Mexico last year that were caused by texting while driving. But both law enforcement and transportation officials know the real number is actually hundreds of times higher. You see, the issue is that a driver in a crash can volunteer to let an officer check their phone records. It's not mandatory. Police can get a search warrant or subpoena to do so, but that obviously takes time.
There's no reason to, I guess, per se, jump through another hoop to further the fault when it's already been determined anyway.
Now, police say records only show if the person was texting or talking on the phone. They say it's hard to prove if a driver was on the cell phone surfing the web, on Facebook, or on YouTube. Funeral arrangements are being made this morning for a 4-year-old girl who was killed in an ATV crash. Police say the little girl was riding on the 4-wheeler that was being driven by an 8-year-old. They say the 8-year-old flipped the ATV in a field in Roswell Friday night. The 4-year-old died at a hospital from internal bleeding. State police is forwarding the case to the DA's office to see if charges should be filed against the parents, who they say knew the girls were riding without helmets. You won't believe what Bernalillo County Sheriff deputies say a guy's ex-girlfriend tried to do to his dog in Albuquerque. Give it rat poison disguised as a treat. Police say that was surveillance video of her trying to do it. Cops say Vicki Black is the ex-girlfriend. They say her boyfriend broke up with her and never imagined she would try to kill the dog that she gave him. Police say fortunately the pit bull lab mix was never able to reach the tainted treat. Vicki Black is now charged with extreme animal cruelty.
The FBI is now looking for a barefoot bandit right here in New Mexico. A man who was barefoot with a lot of tattoos here held up the New Mexico Educators Credit Union on Indian Skull near Louisiana yesterday afternoon. People there say this man walked in, put a handgun on a counter, and demanded money. They say he had tattoos on both his legs from his knees all the way down to his ankles. You see a picture right there. And he took off after getting the cash. And you won't believe why one guy is waking up in jail in Taos this morning. Police say he claimed to be Jesus and showed off his birthday suit at a church. Officers say Jason Bohannon was in town for the Solar Festival a few weeks ago when he heard the church bells and says he felt an energy calling to him. So they say he went to Our Lady of Guadalupe Church here and just stripped on down. And after this, police say they found not just marijuana on Bohannon, but also magic mushrooms. He's now charged with 12 counts of indecent exposure.